The film starts in 1975, where we see an orphanage in Spain, where those children are kept who have no one in this world. There was a girl named Laura who was playing with her friends. Now after some time, someone adopts Laura, and we directly see the time after 30 years in the story, where Laura got married and now she lives with her husband and 7-year-old son, Simon. Recently, Laura had bought that orphanage again where she spent her childhood because she wanted to make that place like before, adopt some special children and take care of them. In a few days, this family shifts there. Now one day when Simon was playing in that new house, that is, the orphanage, he tells his mom and dad about his 2 friends. He said that they are my invisible friends, only I can see them. Now his mom and dad thought that since he is a child, he must have made friends in his imagination. So they ignored Simon's words. The next day, Laura shows Simon a cave on the shore of the sea. Now Simon goes inside to check it out, while Laura stands outside and waits for him. But for a long time, when Simon does not come out, Laura goes inside to find him. She saw that Simon was talking to someone there alone. But when Laura checked, she found nothing but the footprints of the children there. On the way back home, Simon throws a lot of shells on the way so that his new friend follows the shells and comes to his house. The next day, an old woman comes to meet Laura. She says that I am a social worker and also work as a doctor. When Laura brings him inside the house, the social worker talks about Simon and shows Laura his file. We found out that Simon is not their relative but adopted son. She says that when you adopted Simon, he had a disease before that, which I was treating. Now because he is a doctor, I still want to treat him. But Laura says that my husband is a doctor himself, and I want Simon to be treated not outside, but in our custody at home. So she takes the file from the social worker and sends it to him. To confirm the disease, when Laura checked the file, her report was positive. Now Laura did not want Simon to know that he is an adopted son and he has a disease. So Laura hid the file in a locker in the closet and kept the key with her. That night, Laura woke up because of a loud noise. The noise was coming from the shed outside her house. So Laura went to check there. She sees that there is a social worker who is searching in the shed as if she is looking for something very important there. Laura got scared. She quickly wakes up her husband and tells him about it. Both came to check, but by then the social worker had left. The next morning, when Laura opened the door of the house, she found shells lying in a line outside. And these are the same shells that Simon dropped on the way back from KFC. Simon tells Laura about his 6 friends that they are all invisible. Very soon I will also become like them and then I will always be with them. Laura finds it strange. Then she sees Simon's drawing where he had also made pictures of those 6 invisible friends. One of them was also wearing a mask. All the children had something in their hands. Showing the drawing to Simon, Laura asks what is in their hands. So Simon says that my friends steal other people's things and hide them. Then the owner of the thing has to find his thing with the help of clues. If a person finds his thing with the help of clues, then they fulfill a wish of that person. This is a game and now I am going to play that game with my friends. Here I have to find my coins, which my friends have hidden somewhere. So now Laura also understands this game and gets ready to support Simon, because she felt that Simon is going to play with me, and by setting all the clues, she must have hidden her coins somewhere. Now through the clues, she first went to Simon's room, then to the garden, then to another room, then to the kitchen, at the end of which Simon gets a key, which was of the same closet in which Laura had hidden Simon's file. When Simon opens the closet with the key, he finds it in the middle of his coin files. Simon was happy to find the coin, but Laura takes the file and starts scolding him. At this, Simon says that I already know that I am your adopted son. I have a disease and I will die soon. Listen to this. Laura lost her mind. She screams and asks Simon who told you this. Now Simon says that Thomas did. Who is his invisible friend wearing a mask? Hearing this, Laura is completely surprised and worried. The next day, a party is held for those special children whom Laura was going to adopt. When she comes to invite Simon to the party, he refuses to go with her by saying that he should go to Thomas's house with me. She refuses by saying that we can't go, son. There is a party at home. And this matter was discussed by both of them. Now when Simon became very stubborn, Laura slaps him. But later, she was also sad. But Simon got upset and left. After a while, when Laura looks for him in the house to convince him, he is nowhere to be found. Then she sees a child standing, who was wearing exactly the same dress and mask as Simon had made Thomas in his drawing, by which Laura thinks that this is Thomas. When Laura started removing his mask, the child pushed him and put him in the bathroom. Then when the child closed the door to lock him, Laura's hand came in the middle. She starts suffering in pain. Hearing her voice, her husband immediately came there. He opens the door and takes Laura out. Simon was still nowhere to be found. Everyone started looking for him. Laura also looks for him in every small and big room. But when she realized that he is not at home, she went to the seaside to look for him. While passing through the middle of the sea, she starts running towards the cave. But before this, she drowns. At the right time, her husband comes and saves her life. After this, Laura was taken to the hospital, and the police tries to find Simon, for which she also went to the cave. Now Laura's husband comes and tells her that the police did not find Simon in the cave. She says, "How can this be? Because I myself saw him standing outside the cave. That's why I ran." Hearing this, the police doctor standing nearby says that this is just Laura's illusion. She also said that it is possible that some of your relatives or acquaintances have kidnapped Simon. Hearing this, Laura and her husband thought of her as a social worker. Now Laura tells the police doctor that she came to my house to talk about Simon. One night she also came into the house and was limping in the shed. But hearing this, the police doctor said that how can this be? Because there is no social worker by this name. But because Laura really met him, so she started feeling that she has kidnapped Simon. And she was sure that my son would be found near him. Now because Laura's leg was injured, she had to use a wheelchair. Seeing this, her husband tries to handle Laura. He starts comforting her. Then he takes off his chain and gives it to Laura, saying that you wear it. And when Simon is found, I will take it back from you. Now when Laura was sleeping, in the middle of the night, she woke up with a loud voice. This voice was coming from near Simon's room. That's why Laura went to check there immediately. She saw a doll lying on Simon's bed. Now the scene shifts from here and comes after 6 months. And because the police had not been able to find Simon yet, that's why both of them had lost hope that they would ever find Simon. But one day when they were going somewhere, they saw a social worker who was crossing the road and she was holding the baby carriage. Seeing that, both of them had a hope that Simon would definitely be with her. And today our son will be found. Laura calls him to talk to him, but then a bus comes and takes away the social worker. Seeing this, Laura started screaming and screaming. She ran away crying and went near the baby carriage, where she found another doll, which looked exactly like Thomas, with a mask. Now when Laura went to check the social worker, her husband tells her that she is dead. Now after this incident, the police doctor brings some pictures and reels from the social worker's house, so that she can investigate. And it turns out that the social worker used to work in the same orphanage where Laura used to live as a child. But the house where she is living now, she was telling all these things to Laura. Then she says that there was also a son of the social worker, Thomas. And because his son's face was distorted, so he always wore a mask to hide his face. And the social worker also kept her child hidden from everyone. Now the police doctor shows Laura a newspaper in which it was written about Thomas's disappearance. She says that Laura, when you were adopted as a child, after that some children took Thomas and went to the same cave. After going inside the cave, they took off Thomas's mask and he ran out. Because she wanted to see if Thomas would come out without a mask or not. Now those children had gone from there, but Thomas remained inside. Then the high waves of the sea also came there, and that poor man could not come out of there, because there was also water in the cave, and by drowning he died. On this, Laura says that how can this happen? Because the day Simon disappeared, that day I saw Thomas in my house. On this, the police doctor says that this cannot happen because Thomas is dead. And this is also her illusion. On the same night, when Laura was lying on the bed, then her husband also came and laid down, with whom she started talking. She then remembers the time spent with Simon and completely drowns in it. She also tells these things to her husband, but after a while, when the door opened, her husband came to the room. Laura was scared to see that if he had just come, then who was with me on the bed? When she removed the sheet and saw there was no one there, she was scared. She also tells her husband, but both do not understand anything. Now because of these strange things, Laura got very worried. And because it had been 9 months since Simon disappeared, she goes to a professor who is a psychologist. She tells him everything about Simon's disappearance, whatever happened to him. She even gives him a piece of Thomas's mask, which she got when she pushed Laura. After hearing all this, the professor tells her to go to a medium, i.e. to a paranormal investigator, who investigates these strange things, ghosts, and talks to the ghosts to drive them away. The next day, the medium comes to Laura's house with all her preparations. She sits in a dark room, contacts all the spirits of the house, and tries to talk to them, while everyone else was watching the medium through cameras from the other room. Here, the medium comes to a room while checking the orphanage, where she hears the voices of 5 orphan children who were crying for help from the medium. It felt like she was in a very bad condition. The rest of the people sitting in the other room were also able to hear the voices of the children crying through the audio machine. Now, when the medium asks those children about Simon at the request of the professor, all the power of the machine suddenly goes out. The machines shut down, and this process is stopped here. Then when all these people got together, the medium apologizes to Laura that I could not find Simon. She also says that people who are about to die or close to death can see the souls. Listen, Laura was in thought. She thought that Simon was also sick, so maybe because of him, he was able to see those souls, whom he started calling his invisible friends. Hearing this, Laura's husband got angry. He tells all these things to the professor and everyone to leave his house. Then the medium tells Laura that you are a mother and you can find Simon only because of your love for your child. You just have to pay attention to everything and notice the smallest things. Now Laura comes back to the same room where the medium heard the voices of the children crying, but then the window broke and fell on the bench below. When Laura checked the bench, she found some dolls lying there, along with Simon's picture. It felt like these things were also kept here as clothes. Then she remembered about the game. This made Laura understand that now those souls are playing the treasure hunt game with me. Through the clothes, she gets a doorknob. When she checked the whole house, she did not find any door without a knob. Then Laura comes to the shed and checks where she gets the social worker's locket. Then she remembered that she also came here to find something that day. Laura breaks the doors of the small chambers made there and takes out the cement bags. But when she opened them, she fainted, because 5 of her friends' corpses come out of them, with whom Laura used to live in this orphanage. These were the children who went to the cave with Thomas and did all that. Actually, after that day, the social worker wanted to take revenge of her son Thomas's death from those children. She poisoned the food of those children and finally killed them. Then she filled them in these bags and kept them here. And because Laura had opened the orphanage again, the social worker came here to remove these bags so that no one else could know about it. Now Laura tries to explain all this to her husband, but he was not ready to listen. And he talks about leaving this orphanage. On this, Laura takes 2 days to tell him that I will live here alone. After her husband's departure, she starts changing the setting of the whole house. She had also removed the furniture and kept the old one. She had given a similar look to what this orphanage looked like 3 years ago. Then she wears the uniform of the orphanage worker and keeps food on the dining table. And on the chairs, she also sits there with her friends' dolls. Then she starts calling her friends' souls through the doorknob. But when she doesn't come for a long time, then Laura starts playing a game that she used to play with her friends in this orphanage as a child. As soon as the game is played, the souls of those children come there. But when she asks them about Simon, the children start running away from there to play hide and seek. Looking for one of her friends, Laura comes to a small room where a lot of stuff was lying. After checking this room, Laura sees a secret door there, and this was the door without a knob. As soon as it opened, there was a basement inside. Then Laura comes down and starts checking. She finds a lot of drawings made by Thomas on the wall. This makes it clear that he used to live in this basement. Upon checking the abode, she sees Simon's dead body in Thomas's clothes. Seeing this, Laura wakes up. She is completely broken. As if she had gone mad, she starts sitting next to him and crying. Because she remembered something, she starts regretting the mistake she made. Actually, that day, the boy in the mask, whom Laura thought to be Thomas, was Simon. When Laura refused to go to Thomas's house and slapped Simon, he got angry and came to this basement. Everyone was looking for him, but he was in this basement. The mistake Laura made here was that when she came to see the small room, she had no idea that there could be a secret basement here. She ignored this door. By setting big pipes, by mistake, she fell in front of the door of the basement, which blocked the door. Poor Simon could not come out from here, and after returning from the hospital, when Laura heard loud noises in the house, it was not anyone else's, but Simon's, who was trying to come out of the basement. But by mistake, his leg slipped and he fell down the stairs. His neck bone broke and there he died. Now Laura takes Simon's body out of there and brings it to her room. She held Simon in her lap. She takes her last breath after taking a lot of sleeping pills. That is, she was also killed. After a while, we see Laura in the world of souls, where people go to afterlife after death, where Simon is in her lap. Along with him, there are also the souls of Thomas and the 5 orphan children. Now that day when Simon had found the secret in the treasure hunt game, he had asked his mother Laura for it. That is, after his death, Laura should also die soon and come to him, and she can take care of Simon and the other children. Then all the souls of the children come to Laura, and she tells stories to those children while playing the role of a mother. After this, we see Laura's husband, who had buried Laura, Simon, Thomas, and the other children's bodies in front of the orphanage. He had buried them, and he was offering flowers to their graves. And when he came back to the orphanage, he got the same chain that he had given to Laura. And he said that when our child is found, I will take it back from you. Then the front door opened on its own. Looking in front and getting his chain back, he put a smile on his face, because he understood that Laura has finally found Simon, because getting the chain indicates this. And now Laura and Simon are both very happy together. And with this, the film ends here.